It's the last release of Home Assistant for 2025 and I've been checking it out to see what we're all getting in December, and let's just say I think the Home Assistant team are already in the Christmas spirit. There's a good range of new functionality along with some nice ongoing improvements which I'm sure many will like, but are you going to be impacted by the breaking changes? In this video I'm going to break down everything you need to know about this release before you upgrade. Hey everyone, my name's Simon and welcome to a new video on Byte of Geek, a channel that's all about Home Assistant and smart home technology. So it's the final release of Home Assistant for 2025 and I've been checking out what the team have been up to and have in store for us in the December release. There are quite a range of new features and some nice integrations this time around. However, you'll certainly want to watch the whole video as there are some significant changes in this release that will almost certainly affect a number of you. Just to mention that this is a beta release of Home Assistant and as such it can be subject to change before the final release, with features potentially dropped or added at the last minute. I'll put a link to the release notes in the description of this video if you want to read about the update in more detail. So kicking off with new features, and well, certainly this first one was not expected, and that is that we've got a new Home Assistant Labs feature. I think this is quite an interesting thing to add to Home Assistant. I've seen in a few releases over the last year or so that there's been some new features that have been added that via community feedback perhaps haven't been quite right, and so the team have had to rework them in future releases. This then no doubt has had an impact on future deliveries, so it's a positive thing to introduce, I think. So what is this then? Well, basically we're going to be able to see new upcoming features that have already been developed and tested but just not released yet. You'll be able to turn these on and have them running on your system, or if you prefer, you just leave them switched off. In this release there are already 2 new features that you can enable, and the first is winter mode, and I just know this is going to divide opinions, but you'll now be able to have snowflakes on your screen just like you can see here. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Are you getting into the spirit of things and enabling this when it's released in December? The second Labs feature is a big one. Those of you that have been using Home Assistant for a while now will recall how the team changed automations from using call service to something like light turn on. Well, now things have taken a step further with the introduction of intuitive triggers and conditions. There is a reason why this is in the new Labs functionality, as this is still being refined, but as you can see in this new automation editor, things have changed quite a bit. The new triggers and conditions are now provided by domains such as lights, fans, etc., and apparently cover the most common use cases, and they will all support labels and targeting. So you can say, for example, when a light turns on in my living room, then do something. You won't have to create groups now for those lights, which is probably what most people are doing, and if you add or remove a light in that living room, then it will automatically know that that has happened as well. Next up, and we've got a lot more dashboard improvements, starting with the ability to set a system-wide default dashboard for all users. So when you go into the dashboard settings, you'll see when you click on the 3 dots that there is now a set as a default, and you can apply that dashboard to all users. However, if you don't want someone to have that as the default, then you can go into the user profile and set the default for that user there. Floors and areas have also been improved, so now you can drag and drop to reorder them, and your changes will be applied instantly to any built-in dashboard that shows those areas and floors. With the introduction of Home Assistant Labs, the team have retired the experimental flag from the dashboard creation list, with the home dashboard now available in the dashboard list, and the areas dashboard has effectively evolved into the home dashboard, so that has now been removed. And the dashboard editor has been updated and now has an undo and redo feature, which I think is really welcome, as the only way around that previously was a bit of a pain involving copying and pasting. Next, and the energy dashboard has had some significant improvements in this release with the introduction of real-time power monitoring and downstream water tracking. I think these are a couple of great improvements. Previously, the energy side of things really was just focusing on your overall usage, but now you get to see the details of what you're actually using right now, down to a specific appliance. As for water consumption, well, in a similar vein, you were able to track consumption, but you couldn't find out where that water was going. Was it going to a washing machine, a garden irrigation, or something completely different? Well, now you can track them all, and to top it off, there's a very nice new water Sankey card to have a visual indication of that flow of water through your home. I think there are going to be some very welcome additions to the integrations this release, and as a Home Assistant user, you want to make sure you keep up to date on the changes every month. So go ahead and hit the like and subscribe buttons so you don't miss my next video. So starting off, we've got Aerobot, which allows you to integrate your smart thermostat. So now you can control and monitor your floor heating. If you're a customer of Anglian Water in the UK, then now you can hook up your smart water meter to track your usage and costs. Next up, and I really thought this one already existed, but apparently it doesn't, and that is that we now have Backblaze B2 integration, which you can use for your Home Assistant backups. Customers of Essent in the Netherlands will be pleased to hear that there is a new integration allowing you to monitor dynamic electricity and gas prices. Next, we've got a couple of new Google integrations. First is Google Air Quality, allowing you to track air quality data for your location. And we've also got Google Weather providing current and long range forecast information. Really good to see those two added at last. Those with a HANA pool controller will now be able to retrieve pool quality information such as pH or chlorine levels. And as mentioned earlier in the video, there is the new Home Assistant Lab, so that has been added as well. Now, I'm not a Philips Hue user, but I suspect this one is quite a big thing for those of you that are. Now you can control Bluetooth bulbs directly in Home Assistant without the need for the Hue bridge. Hit the like button if that is something that you're going to benefit from. If you've got a Sonum Leo sauna control, then now you can integrate that into Home Assistant. And finally, you can now integrate Victron energy devices that support Bluetooth Low Energy, giving you the ability to have real-time monitoring. In terms of updates to existing integrations, well, yet again, there are a huge number of improvements in this release, so I'm just going to pick out a few notable ones, but everyone is clearly working super hard to make things better for all of us. The Tuya integration has been updated, so cat litter boxes will now expose things like switches, buttons and lights. That last one, I want to know who has lights on their cat litter box, please. There's also doorbell events, they're now supported as well, obviously not for cat litter boxes. The OpenAI conversation integration has been updated to support GPT 5.1 models. Home Connect, that's been updated to support air conditioners and microwaves. If you have a Bang & Olufsen system at home, then now you can use your Bio Remote 1 with Home Assistant. And there's also alarm control panel support added to the NasWeb integration, allowing you to arm and disarm your system. If you want to read the full list of improvements, then don't forget to check out the link in the description of this video. Integrations in Home Assistant have a quality scale which represents how well the integration is coded, how maintainable and testable it is, as well as how good an end user experience it provides. In this release, we have two integrations that have reached platinum level, and they are the Brother Printer integration and Shelly as well. Moving to gold is the Google Assistant SDK integration, and stepping up to silver is LCN and Telegram Bot. And finally, transmission becomes a bronze rated integration. It's great to see all the hard work from those contributing being recognised in the releases to make these integrations better for everyone. There are a number of integrations that have been removed this release, those being Domino's Pizza and Flick Electric, and there is also a short list of integrations that are removed as they can no longer be used on supported installations. I don't use any of these, but let me know in the comments if any of these are going to affect you. So we've got Bluetooth Tracker, we've got Cups, Decora, DLib Face Detect, DLib Face Identity, Eddystone Temperature, GStreamer, Keyboard, LIRC, Pandora, Raspberry Pi Camera, SMS, Snips and TensorFlow. There's a few notable changes this release, starting with some new template math functions. The filtering for the logbook card has had filtering by state added. Min and max have been added to the bar gauge feature in tile cards. Helpers can now be deleted directly from the helpers panel. I think the next one is super useful, and that is that the blueprints panel will now show how many automations and scripts are using each blueprint. Double clicking on the automation editor sidebar will reset its width, and labels now show up on the device information card. I think that's a nice set of changes this release and some welcome quality of life improvements. The list of breaking changes this release is not quite as extensive as it was last month. However, they are just as important nonetheless. And the first one is the big one that was mentioned 6 months ago, and that is that core and supervised installation methods, as well as 32-bit systems, have now been removed. So no updates, no security updates going forward, and you are strongly advised to migrate to a supported architecture as soon as possible. Next we have Hive, and as Hive have removed support for their security products, the team have had to remove the alarm control panel from the integration due to it no longer being available in the Hive API. For templates, if you're using the issues function, well, now that is only going to return active issues. Go to RTC now requires username and passwords when enabling the debug UI. If you're using the legacy license plate event sensor in the Unify Protect integration, well, that has been removed as it no longer works with Protect 6 onwards. So you should now use the more feature-rich vehicle detection event instead. And finally, we have Xbox, and there's been some overall work here to support multiple accounts, various other improvements, as well as the removal of friends from the following and followers sensors. So that's what the 2025.12 release of Home Assistant has for us, and that will be the last release of 2025. What are you looking forward to in this update? Let me know in the comments below. I really like the addition of the labs functionality. I think it'll give the community the ability to help shape the direction of new features before they are released. And the improvements to the energy dashboard will, I'm sure, be welcome by many people. If you're still building up your Home Assistant smart home and you want to take things even further, then check out this next video. It's a great next step if you're curious about creating more reliable, flexible connections between your devices, and I show you how to get started, set everything up and connect your first device. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.